Hi and welcome to this week's video of the week. I'm sure you've heard the term be the coach, if not once, 1,000 times as part of the coaching business. And be the coach is really something that I guess it's often an esoteric term, and people say, well, you've got to be the coach. What do they mean when they say be the coach? Let's get into a little bit more detail around it as to how does be the coach actually work? What do we got to do? How do we structure it? What are parts of that? Well, really what it's looking at is the difference between the external system and the internal system. See, the external system within Action is the letters, the 13 steps, the marketing pieces, all of the external things that you send to people. The internal system is about you. How do you operate? How do you actually structure? How do you as a coach develop internally? Now, it's not just for you, it's also something that you, as you master it, obviously your clients master it as well. So it's things you can teach to your clients, and as you get better at it, they'll get better at it. Therefore, as you get better results, they'll get better results. So let's just examine the different parts of it. First and foremost, above and below the line is the first part of be the coach. So if you're playing below that line in the blame, excuse and denial, and it could be blaming the system, it could be blaming your coach, it could be blaming your ML, it could be blaming your husband, it could be blaming your wife, it could be blaming the business community, the government, the economy, any of those things, any excuses you're coming up with for why you're not doing 5 diagnostics a week. Well, you know, I don't have the marketing funds. Well, of course you don't. If you don't do marketing, you can't make money, therefore you can't have funds. It's pretty simple that way. Marketing's a simple number in our business. You know, you invest X amount of dollars, generally between $1,000 and $1,800. You bring on a client, you keep them for 12 months, therefore you've got 20 grand off of 1,800. Now, if you're not doing any marketing, you're not getting any clients. And if you're spending $1,800 over a 3-month period, you're only getting one client every 3 months. It's pretty simple math, I guess. Now, if you're playing above the line, obviously you are being the coach, taking ownership, taking accountability, responsibility, taking action on everything that you know you need to do, being that leadership position for yourself. The next one, the only failure is the failure to participate. These aren't just flip charts, these are the internal inside system of Action. This is being the coach. So, you know, are you participating? At what level are you participating? At 100%? Is that what you're going for? If you're going at 60%, 50%, 80%, even 90%, you're not going to be getting the results you're after. We need to participate full on, full tilt, 100%, then we'll get 100% and the synergy that comes with that for doing it. So stay above the line, operate at 100%, participate fully, and by participation it means in all events. If there is a conference call in your area, get on it. If there is a networking function in your area, get to it. If there is, whatever's happening, you need to be there. Especially in your first 12 months as a coach, you need to be at every single event there is. If another coach has a profit club, you need to show up. If another coach has a group coaching, you need to show up. All for your own learning and your own benefit. So participate at 100% and you'll get at least 100% back. Next one, the I know flip chart. Now, it's amazing how often people say, you already know that one. You know, it's kind of a bit of a joke, I guess, but I watch a lot of coaches in their first 12 months who think they already know the system. I watch a lot of coaches who've been with us 5 years who are kind of like, I already know that. And yeah, you're making good money, but what could you be doing with what you already know? What could you be doing if you built it further? You know, these are some very interesting factors that we need to look at. So you've got to get into a learning state all the time. There's no, see, the moment you go into I know, you've stopped learning, and if you stop learning, you stop growing. If you stop growing, the business stops growing, because your business is what's in your head and in your heart, and if that stops, then the business stops. Next one, isn't that interesting? You know, combine it with the I know, that a simple thought that can go in your head all day, every day. Isn't that interesting? Keep learning, keep growing, keep being willing to learn and willing to grow. These are some vital aspects of what you should be if you're going to be the coach. The fun flip chart. You know, you got to treat it as fun. When you go and see a prospect, it's got to be fun. You got to have a laugh with a prospect. When you go and do a seminar, it's got to be fun. You get the participation, you get the enjoyment out of it. You've got to be a fun person. Otherwise, why would I want you as my coach? You know, oftentimes people get in a bit of a funk, you know, and it's like, well, I'll pay you $1,000 a month not to call me every single week. You got to be that fun person, that lively, that leader, above the line, participating full on, doing everything you can, learning so much, not just about what you've got to learn to do the business, but learn to the next stage and the next. Because if you're not continuing your learning, why does a client stay with you? If a client starts learning investment and you haven't gone that far, why would they stay with you? If a client learns how to franchise and you haven't learned that yet, why would they stay with you? You know, these are the things that we have to continue to do. Blinding flashes of the obvious, the BFOs, opposite of scotomas, the blind spots, the black spots, you know. The blinding flash of the obvious is all about that learning mode, you know, staying in that learning mode. And you know, oftentimes we will forget things we've already learned. You know, we know we should be using it, but we're not. So stay with it. Get the blinding flash of the obvious, move forward, move on. Reticular activating system. It's impossible to have a reticular activating system working if you don't give it something to activate on. You know, if you don't go out and say, okay, here are my goals, this is what I'm aiming for, this is my goal today, every single day. At the end of every single day, do you write your list of things to do for tomorrow? If you don't, your reticular activating system can't work for you. You're not being the coach. You know, these are important aspects of what we need to do to be the coach. I know I insist on it with my team every single day, and I walk around the office at 5:30 and check, are there things on their desk every day of what they've got to achieve for tomorrow? It is a vital aspect of human beings' potential or ability to achieve what they need to achieve. Comfort zone. Listen, the fact is, as a coach, your job is to push others outside their comfort zone. To do that, you're going to need to keep pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. How fast do you need to get outside of it? Where do you need to get outside of it? What do you need to do? What areas are you comfortable in? Sit down, you know, as soon as you finish this video, and write down what are the 10 areas you are most comfortable in, and get outside of them. Go and do it, especially in business areas. Don't just do personal areas. Do 10 areas in business where you are comfortable, and get outside of that. Get outside your comfort zone. Go and build your business. The mirror and planet Earth. Well, let's use both of those examples and try and tie them together. When you take a look in the mirror, what are the aspects that you're not enjoying? What are the aspects that you are enjoying? Another activity you can do from this. Do it with yourself and do it with your clients. 10 areas you're uncomfortable with. Then come back and say, okay, what are 11 areas where when I look in the mirror I'm not happy? What are some things? Not just physical appearance crap, I mean stuff, you know. Look in the mirror and say, what are the areas in my life that are showing back? Look at your friends, your group of friends. What is the common denominator amongst them? Look at your business associates. Look at your clients. Look at all the different things that are mirrors in your life and say, what are the areas I'm not comfortable with? Look at your automobile. Look at your house. Look at your vacations. Look at the coaches you hang out with the most. You know, and go back to it and take a look at the mirror. Is the mirror something that is helping you grow, or is it the mirror that's a collusion mirror that's helping you stay where you are or get worse? You've got to make sure you do those things. The planet Earth thing, once you look in the mirror, deal with it. Don't look at something that is a challenge and say, you know what, let's put it off, put it off, put it off, put it off. Deal with it now, deal with it today, deal with it this second, this minute. Don't put off till tomorrow what you can deal with today. Same with your clients. Make sure you're applying it with them and with yourself. You can't apply it with them, I guess, until you apply it with yourself. Traveling the roadway of life, taps on the shoulder. Watching this video today, how many taps on the shoulder have you got? How many of these things have been the 2x4 over the back of the head thing, you know, there's a signpost, bang, it's hitting hard. You know, I doubt much of what I'm saying today is a Mack truck. If it is, then you've let it go way too far. Get out of collusion, get out of below the line, get into participation, get above the line, get into working with coaches and with other people who are going to help you succeed, not those who are going to bring you down. Fear. False expectations appearing real. Some of us are exceptionally good at creating what could go wrong. Create what could go right. Sit down. If you've trained your brain over many years to do fear, then train your brain the other way. You'll need to use pen and paper though. You'll need to sit down and say, okay, what can go right in this scenario? If I go and do more marketing, what's the possible good things that could happen? You know, stop training your brain with the fear and start training your brain with the positivity of what can happen. You know, these are the things we need to have a look at. Self-sabotage. Well, you know, if we go to the identity iceberg, because this is a very big part of the identity of who you are, and I'm going to do a video in a couple of weeks on just the identity iceberg. If you take a look at it and say, you know what, My identity is not yet a business coach. Get on stage, create the identity. What IVVMs, and this is a very important part of it, your visualization and your verbalization. In fact, in a couple of weeks I might do an audio recording of IVVM that you can put on for 10 minutes each morning and do your own visualization and verbalizations. These are things that self-sabotage comes from. If you're not going to be willing to make the change, the dissatisfaction multiplied by vision plus the first steps has got to be greater than your resistance. If you're not using these Be the Coach flip charts, then it doesn't matter how good you are. I mean, I'm sure you've watched the movie The Secret, and as much as I debate the full relevance of that movie, I still believe in the fact that if you as a coach are in a negative funk, there's no way in the world you're going to get clients. When you get into that positive, passionate, powerful person you can be, and be the coach, be a coach, use all of these flip charts, use all of this information, it's guaranteed that you will attract to you some amazing people. They might not be clients, but they might refer clients. They might be the next person to employ with you. They might be the next coach who works with you. You will find great people to come and join your team when you become the great leader or the great coach that people want to have as their coach. Have a great week. Do the activities we talked about today. Enjoy the application, and enjoy using it with your clients, because I know once you start using it with them, you have to use it for yourself.